Welcome to our first video, and we're starting with decimals, adding and subtracting decimals. You are so familiar with adding and subtracting, and so it's not going to be too big of a jump. In your guided notes, they are separated. The first part everybody does. So all students will watch and take notes. There's spaces to fill in blanks. We're going to be writing down information on how to add and subtract decimals. So to add and subtract decimals, you're going to write the numbers vertically and line up the decimal points. The line up the decimal points is new to you, but you've added numbers before vertically. Then bring down the decimal point, and I'll show you a picture of that in a minute to see what it looks like, and add and subtract or subtract as you would with a whole number. This lines up the numbers in their place value positions. Tenths are then added to tenths, hundredths are added to hundredths, and so on. The lining up is important, and then you'll get the correct answer. So go ahead and fill in those blanks. Pause the video if you need to, reread it. But here's a picture of what that looks like. When we add decimals, let's say we have 8 and 13 hundredths, or 8.13 plus 2 and 76 hundredths. We can kind of step back for a second and say 8 and 13 hundredths is very close to 8, and 2 and 76 hundredths is a little closer to 3. So when we add these two together, we know it's going to be a number kind of close to 8 plus 3, which is 11. So here's what that looks like, what we wrote. Line up the decimal point. So 8 is tenths, 2 is tenths. So we're going to line up the 8.13 vertically with 2.76. And we're just going to add them together like whole numbers. So you'll see, line up the decimal points. And then once you do that, you bring down the decimal point in your answer and then add as you would with whole numbers. So it's just 3 plus 6 is 9, 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, and 10.89 is close to that 11 we predicted. So we know we have a reasonable answer. Looking at other decimals, be sure to add or subtract digits that have the same place value. So sometimes you're going to have a number that's missing some of the places. So if you have 1 and 459 thousandths, or 459 thousandths, plus 23 and 7 tenths, there's no hundredths and thousandths place. So you're going to add some zeros into that, so you make sure that you are lining up the decimal place in the right spot. So the decimal points get lined up when you set it up vertically. You carry the decimal point down, and you'll see how they added the zeros. Just hold the place values of the thousands and hundredths spot. And then you add them like you would whole numbers. So go ahead and copy down those examples in your notes, and then you can refer back to them when you're doing your practices. All right, here are the practices. So you guys are going to do these on your own. You're going to pause the video, but I'm going to help you line out the first one. So 4 and 206 thousandths added vertically to 10. We're going to line up our decimals. 10 and 85 hundredths. And then we're just going to put an extra 0 to mark the thousandths place. There's nothing in it, but it's going to help us add these vertically together. So when you add all the place values, just make sure you carry the decimal point down, and then go ahead and add from your right to your left. And then you can carry anything that's greater than 10 and move it to the next column. Okay? So go ahead and stop the video, practice those, and then you can check your answers at the end. Or with each other too. Okay, our next subject is subtracting decimals. So when you subtract decimals, we're going to do the same thing. Let's take a look back at them. 5 and 508 thousandths, subtracting 3 and 174 thousandths. That's going to be close to 6 minus 3. Our answer is going to be somewhere around 3, could be 2, could be 4, but somewhere around 3. Okay, so remember, what's cool about this is we do the same thing, except we're going to subtract whole numbers. So we're going to line up the decimal points. 5.508 lined up with 3.174. You'll see how the ones, the 5 and 3 are lined up, then the decimal points lined up, then the tenths is lined up, the hundredths are lined up, and the thousandths are lined up. And then you go ahead and subtract as you would with whole numbers. So the answer is 2.334, 2 and 334 thousandths, and it's close to 3. So we feel pretty confident in that. Like another example of subtracting, but using those zeros to hold the place values. You're gonna line up the decimal points here, but you have 21 and 9/10, and there's no hundredths, there's no thousandths. So you're gonna have to put in some zeros to make sure that you're subtracting numbers in their correct place value. Once you get it all lined out, carry the decimal point down, and then go ahead and subtract like you would with whole numbers. You can pause the video, get this example down, think through it, talk about it, and then you'll be ready to try out the practice and see if you can get the right answers. Here we go on the practice. So again, I'll get you set up on this. We've got 6 and 34 hundredths, and we're going to do it vertically, minus 5 and 33 hundredths. So just make sure, get that decimal point down there and line up your hundredths, your tenths, your ones. They're all in the right place. And then you can go ahead and just do your whole number subtraction. And then you should have the answer. You know it's going to be somewhere, 6 minus 5 is 1, so it's going to be somewhere around 1. That'll be a reasonable answer. Okay, pause the video. Good luck with that. Okay, next one. You'll notice that the green background is for everybody. That's the C level. Now, when the color changes to orange, we're going to the B level. So this is where you're doing some application. Decimals have a lot to do with money, help to break up a dollar into pennies and dimes and nickels and quarters. So let's say you're at a school cafeteria somewhere, maybe you get to go see your brother or sister at Utah State, and your meal is $3.45 at the cafeteria. And you get to bring your friend whose meal costs a little bit more than yours, $3.90. They eat a little more than you do. You pay for both meals because you have a $10 bill. So how much change are you going to get? And it asks you to use a verbal model to solve the problem. So you talk yourself through this problem. Amount of change, that is what we are asked to find. So with the amount of change, that's our question mark, right? And then we look at what we have in the situation. So we were given $10, right? And then we're going to subtract some stuff from that. So you got some parentheses. You have $3.45 for your meal. And you're going to add, so we're doing multiple operations here, $3.90 to that. So first, in our order of operations, we're going to do the parentheses, figure out how much that is together, then figure out how much that is taken away from $10. And we'll know the change that we receive. All right, try that out. Stop the video, see if you can solve it. And then we'll just kind of set it up again just so you can see it. $10 minus the $3.45 plus the $3.90. Substituting the values to find out the amount of change. So 10 minus $7.35 when you add that together leaves you $2.65. So you might have enough to buy a little bit of an Aggie ice cream if you're lucky. Okay, A students. Now the color changes to blue background. We have the Lincoln Memorial. That is in Washington, D.C. It has a beautiful reflecting pool. And it is about rectangular. So its width is 50.9. Width is across. So this piece right here, that is 50.9 meters across. And then the length is the long part. So when you're walking along the side of it, that is 618, a long part. and a teeny bit more, 0.44 meters. It's like a half a meter. And the question is, if you're gonna walk around it, how far are you gonna go? The perimeter is around the pool. So remember, when you're trying to figure this out, you walk 50.9 meters, you turn the corner, you walk 18.44 meters, you turn the corner, you walk it again, 50.9 meters, and then you walk back up, right? Another 618.44 meters. So you're doubling the width and you're doubling the length when you're trying to find out the distance around this object. Okay, pause the video. Good luck with that. Write down all your notes so you get credit for them. And then finally, if you're feeling rugged and understanding all this, here is the honors. It's kind of like the B1. Your meal costs $4.10. Your friend's $3.65. This time you have a little bit more money, $20. How much change do you receive? But I want you to really think through what's happening here. So model this problem with the drawing that uses base 10 blocks. So you've got blocks that model tens, hundreds, and thousands. Think about how you could do that. Calculate the answer by hand. So like we were doing it vertically and drawing it out. Check your answer on the calculator, see if you did it right vertically. And then just think about like what's similar, what's the same, what's different in these three ways to solve a problem. So you have a visual picture, try to figure it out that way. Do it by hand, writing it vertically with numbers, and then lastly with the calculator. Okay, good luck. And finally, here's quick answers that you can check and get those. Okay.